The open council chamber was built to humble worlds. It floated above a blue star, wide as a city, silent like a grave. Hundreds of species sat in rising circles, each believing they were important. Earth's seat was small, placed near the back. Humans watched quietly as ancient races argued about borders, resources, and power. They spoke of Earth as if it was a child, reckless and loud. Smiles spread when Earth was blamed for instability. No one noticed the human delegates writing notes, calm faces hiding anger. The council thought shame would break Earth. They were very wrong. One by one, the elders spoke. Tall beings of crystal light mocked human wars. Scaled emperors laughed at Earth's pollution. Machine minds calculated humans as temporary. Every insult was recorded and broadcast across the galaxy. This was meant to be a lesson. "You are primitive," one voice said. "You are dangerous," said another. The council demanded Earth accept limits, weapons bans, and permanent supervision. Humans were told to sign or be isolated forever. Cameras focused on Earth's table, waiting for fear. Instead, the lead human slowly stood up. The room fell quiet. Something had shifted. The human did not shout. He did not beg. He thanked the council for their honesty. That alone confused them. He spoke of Earth's history, not as an apology, but as a warning. Humans had been conquered before, shamed before, threatened before. Every time, they adapted. He explained that humans were not united by peace, but by survival. While others evolved in calm galaxies, humans evolved under constant disaster. Storms, predators, wars, extinction events. Earth was never kind. That cruelty shaped them. The council listened, uneasy now, sensing they misunderstood something fundamental. The human continued. He explained that Earth never saw the stars as gods or masters. They were challenges. Humans explored space not to rule, but to endure. He revealed data the council did not have. Human fleets hidden beyond mapped space. Colonies built in radiation zones no species dared enter. Treaties already broken by others and quietly forgiven by humans. Not weakness, patience. The council shifted in their seats. This was not part of the script. Earth was supposed to feel small. Instead, it sounded prepared. The human ended simply. "You asked us to sign. We decline." Gasps filled the chamber. Declining was not an option. The council threatened sanctions, blockades, erased trade routes. The human nodded, almost kindly. Then he activated a projection. Stars appeared, then dates, then signatures. Every major power had violated council law at least once. Earth had proof, recorded, stored. "By dawn," the human said, "every treaty you value will be ash." Silence turned heavy. This was blackmail, but legal. Humans had followed rules perfectly while watching others fail. The council realized Earth had learned faster than anyone. Shame had turned into fear. Emergency sessions were called. Elders argued in whispers. Machines recalculated outcomes. Warriors checked weapons that would never be used. Humans waited, calm, still. Dawn approached the blue star outside the chamber. One by one, council members received encrypted messages. Trade systems collapsing, borders disputed, ancient alliances dissolving. Humans had released everything, not to attack, but to expose truth. The galaxy panicked. Earth had not fired a single shot. They simply removed lies holding empires together. The human delegation stood. "We warned you," he said softly. "Do not mistake silence for weakness." By dawn, the open council was broken. No votes passed. No unity remained. Species left in anger or fear. Some begged Earth for protection. Others threatened revenge they could not afford. Humans offered no punishment, only distance. Earth withdrew from the chamber, fleets already moving to secure their people. News spread fast across known space. The species that was shamed had shattered the galaxy without war. Humans became something new overnight. Not rulers, not tyrants, a reminder that survival breeds strategy, that patience can be sharper than any weapon, and that Earth remembers everything. Back on Earth, the news played quietly. No celebrations, no cheering crowds. Humans went to work, schools, factories, ships. This was not victory, it was preparation. The Council had been a shield, flawed but useful. Now it was gone. Humans knew what came next: chaos, opportunity, danger. But that was familiar. Earth had always lived on the edge of collapse. Now the galaxy would learn to do the same. Human admirals reviewed plans written decades earlier. Scientists activated projects once called impossible. Earth did not rise in anger, it rose in readiness. Other species studied the recordings again and again. They searched for the moment Earth became a threat. They realized it had always been there. Humans did not evolve to dominate, they evolved to survive anything. Shame did not break them. Pressure sharpened them. The Open Council assumed morality meant weakness. Humans proved morality could coexist with strength. They had offered peace, cooperation, and patience. Those offers were mocked. Now only reality remained. A galaxy without treaties, without trust, and one species that had prepared for exactly that outcome longer than anyone else. Long after the council chamber went dark, a message echoed through diplomatic channels. It was short. Earth is open to fair cooperation. We will not kneel. We will not rule. We will endure. Many ignored it. Some laughed. A few listened. Those few would survive the coming years, because humans did not seek to shame the galaxy. They simply held up a mirror, and when the reflection burned, it was not Earth's fault. Dawn had come. The treaties were ash, and humanity was just getting started.
In the weeks after the council fell, the galaxy changed fast. Old borders meant nothing anymore. Trade routes closed overnight. Some worlds starved within days because they had relied on promises instead of preparation. Humans watched quietly. They did not cheer. They sent aid ships where they could, but without flags or demands. This confused everyone. Many expected revenge. Humans gave food, medicine, and power units instead. Not kindness alone, but strategy. Earth understood something others didn't. A broken galaxy creates desperate neighbors. Desperate neighbors become dangerous. Helping now meant fewer enemies later. Survival always came first. Inside human space, leaders met without ceremony. No speeches, no drama, just plans. Earth activated emergency protocols written long before first contact. Every colony shifted to self-sufficiency. Farms expanded. Energy grids hardened. Children were taught basic survival skills in school. Not fear, just readiness. Humans had learned long ago that peace is temporary. The galaxy's collapse was not shocking to them. It felt familiar. Like storms on Earth, it was not a question of if, but when. Humans didn't panic, they adjusted. That calm scared other species far more than weapons ever could. Some alien worlds tried to form new councils, smaller, faster. They invited Earth to lead. Humans refused politely. Leadership attracts targets. Targets bleed first. Earth chose a different role. Anchor, not crown. Human stations became neutral grounds where enemies could talk without killing each other. Rules were simple. No lies, no threats. Break them once, never return. Many laughed at first, then they noticed something strange. No one broke the rules, because humans enforced consequences quietly and permanently. A ship denied fuel, a system locked out. No violence, just removal, clean and final. Military analysts across the galaxy studied human fleets. They saw nothing special at first. Ships were smaller than expected. Weapons were simple. No glowing supercannons, no reality-breaking tech. Then battles began, short ones, confusing ones. Human ships moved unpredictably. They absorbed damage that should have destroyed them. They retreated, repaired, returned, again and again. Humans didn't fight to win fast, they fought to outlast. Every encounter drained the enemy more than Earth. Observers finally understood. Human warfare was endurance turned into doctrine. Against that, even advanced empires collapsed slowly. Stories spread among alien civilians, not official reports, rumors, whispers. Humans who walked into radiation zones without suits, colonies built on dying stars, engineers who fixed ships using scrap and stubbornness. None of it sounded impressive alone. Together it formed a picture. Humans were not fearless, they were used to fear. Fear was a tool, pain was data, loss was expected. Other species avoided suffering at all costs. Humans accepted it as part of existence. That difference changed everything. The galaxy had evolved to avoid pain, Earth had evolved to live through it. A year after the Council's fall, a major empire tried to test Earth. They cut a supply line near a human colony, expecting panic. The colony adapted within hours. Local production replaced imports. Power was rerouted. Children helped in farms. Elderly managed logistics. When the empire finally attacked, they found nothing to destroy. No single point of failure. No collapse. The attackers withdrew, confused and embarrassed. Humans didn't chase them. No victory speeches. Just a short message sent galaxy-wide. We prepare so we don't have to fight. That message spread faster than any fleet. Some species finally understood their mistake at the Council. They had mistaken noise for strength and silence for weakness. Humans had spoken little because they were listening, watching, learning. When shame came, it only confirmed what they already knew. The galaxy was fragile, built on appearances. Earth was not. Earth had broken many times and rebuilt itself stronger each time. That history mattered. Humans didn't believe in perfect systems. They believed in backups, in failure plans, in plans when plans fail. The Council had no backup. Earth had thousands. Children on alien worlds began asking new questions. Why are humans like this? Schools added human history to their lessons. Plagues, ice ages, world wars, near extinction, recovery, again and again. Teachers struggled to explain how one species survived so much. The answer was simple but uncomfortable. Humans didn't wait for permission to adapt. They changed while arguing. They improved while failing. They moved forward without certainty. Other species waited for consensus, for approval, for stability. Humans moved anyway, not because they were brave, because stopping felt more dangerous than continuing. Years passed. The galaxy did not end. It transformed. Smaller alliances formed based on trust, not fear. Human space became a spine connecting fractured regions, not an empire, a backbone. When disaster struck, human ships arrived first. When conflicts rose, human mediators followed. If ignored, humans left. They never forced help. That choice mattered. Worlds learned that cooperation with Earth meant responsibility, not dependence. Some failed and fell. Humans didn't save everyone. They never promised to. That honesty built more respect than any grand speech ever could. Old Council ruins still floated above the blue star. No one used the chamber anymore. It became a warning site visited by diplomats and students. Recordings of the final session were played in silence. The insults, the laughter, the shame, then the quiet human voice. Many visitors felt embarrassed, even generations later, not because Earth won, but because the galaxy had revealed its arrogance so clearly. Humans never destroyed the ruins. They let them drift, untouched, a reminder that power built on pride burns fast, and that underestimating survivors is the most expensive mistake of all.
One night, long after the treaties turned to ash, the same human delegate recorded a private message. It was never broadcast widely, only shared with new human leaders. "We did not break the galaxy," he said. "We showed it the cracks." He warned them not to become what the Council had been. Comfort breeds blindness. Stability creates arrogance. Humans must stay uncomfortable enough to adapt, strong enough to endure, humble enough to listen. That message became tradition, passed quietly, never celebrated. Earth did not mythologize its victory. It treated it as a lesson. Alien philosophers debated humanity's place for decades. Were humans heroes, villains, accidents? Most agreed on one thing. Humans were a force shaped by pressure. Remove pressure, they stagnate. Apply pressure, they evolve. That made them dangerous and valuable. Some worlds tried to copy human systems. Few succeeded. Because it wasn't technology that mattered, it was mindset. Accepting uncertainty, planning for loss, moving forward anyway. Those who learned that survived the new galaxy. Those who clung to old comforts faded quietly, without ceremony. Humans noticed. They always noticed. On Earth, monuments were never built for the Council's fall. Humans preferred small markers, a line in history books, a paragraph in training manuals. Diplomatic failure event, that was the title. No heroes listed, no enemies named, just outcomes and improvements. Humans measured success by survival, not pride. The galaxy expected songs. Humans wrote procedures. That difference explained everything. While others remembered glory, humans prepared for tomorrow. That habit had carried them from caves to stars, and it would carry them further still, long after louder civilizations burned themselves out. Sometimes, alien diplomats asked humans a simple question: what do you want now?
The answer rarely changed. Enough, humans said. Enough food, enough space, enough safety for children to grow. No endless expansion, no divine destiny, just enough. That confused species raised on domination or perfection. Humans did not chase utopia, they chased continuity, the ability to keep going even when things break, especially when they break. That goal made them patient, it made them stubborn, and it made them terrifying to underestimate again and again. The galaxy never fully recovered from the Council's collapse. It didn't need to. It became rougher, more honest, less comfortable. Humans fit perfectly into that world, not as masters, not as saviors, but as survivors who refused to lie to themselves. When aliens spoke of Earth now, they used a different tone. No laughter, no shame, just caution, and sometimes quiet respect. Because everyone remembered that dawn, the day treaties became ash, the day humanity proved that endurance, when sharpened by patience, can reshape the stars without firing a single shot. As decades passed, new species entered the stars and heard the old story. They asked why Earth was treated differently. Elders would pause before answering. They explained that humans were not feared because of power alone. They were respected because they learned from mistakes faster than anyone else. Humans documented failures openly. They shared what broke and why. That honesty shocked others. Most civilizations hid weakness. Humans studied it. New species learned quickly. If you wanted lies, avoid Earth. If you wanted truth, even painful truth, talk to humans. That reputation became Earth's strongest shield. Some warlords still tried their luck. They believed humans had grown soft with age. Those warlords never lasted long. Human response was never dramatic. Supply chains vanished. Allies backed away. Internal systems failed under pressure humans understood well. The warlords collapsed before major battles even began. Humans called it preventative stability. Others called it terrifying. Earth never claimed credit. They simply filled the vacuum after, rebuilding ports, restoring networks, teaching basics of resilience. Humans never said we told you so. They didn't need to. The galaxy learned through repetition. The memory of the Open Council slowly turned into legend. Details blurred, but the lesson remained clear. Never corner humans, never shame them publicly. Pressure sharpens them. Even friendly species remembered this rule. When disagreements came, they spoke carefully. They asked questions instead of making demands. Humans responded well to respect. They always had. Earth had never wanted dominance, only fairness and space to adapt. That was the irony. The galaxy could have kept peace easily. All it had to do was listen. Instead, it laughed, and laughter had costed everything familiar. Human explorers pushed farther than ever before, not chasing glory but redundancy, backup worlds, backup routes, backup futures. They mapped dead regions others avoided, found value when none was expected. Humans believed nothing was truly useless, just misunderstood. That belief turned hazards into assets. Radiation became power, frozen rocks became vaults, broken systems became classrooms. Other species followed slowly, learning from human methods. Many failed at first. Humans helped, but only if asked. That rule stayed firm. Help without consent creates weakness. Humans preferred partners who stood on their own. Back at the old council site, a small human beacon was placed. No monument, just a single repeating one sentence in dozens of languages. Preparation is respect for the future. Pilots passing through often sighed to read it. Some laughed, some nodded, some ignored it. Humans didn't care. The message wasn't for everyone. It was for those willing to understand. The galaxy no longer had a center, no single voice. That chaos scared many. Humans saw it differently. Diversity of failure meant no single collapse could end everything again.
Human children grew up hearing the story not as triumph, but caution. Teachers emphasized the mistakes. Why Earth waited too long to speak, why silence was misunderstood, why patience must be paired with clarity. Each generation refined the lesson. Humans believed progress came from honest review, not pride. Alien exchange students often struggled with this mindset. Humans criticized themselves openly. They questioned leaders. They argued loudly. But when survival was on the line, unity snapped into place instantly. That switch fascinated outsiders. Chaos into order, debate into action, like a storm becoming a blade. Some species eventually asked humans for a new council. Humans agreed, but only under strict terms. No permanent power, no forced compliance, no illusion of control. The council would advise, not rule. It would share data, not decisions. Many refused. They wanted safety without responsibility. Humans accepted that. The new council formed smaller but stronger. It failed often. Humans expected that. Failure was allowed, even encouraged, as long as it was documented. Slowly, trust grew, not from authority, but from transparency. The galaxy began learning the human way, piece by piece. When historians compared eras, they marked the council's fall as a turning point, not an end, but a correction. Before, the galaxy chased perfection. After, it chased resilience. Humans didn't invent this idea. Earth had learned it the hard way. through floods, fires, wars, and loss. Space only expanded the scale. The lesson stayed the same. Systems will break, people will fail. What matters is what survives afterward. The galaxy finally caught up to that truth. Too late for some, just in time for others. Long-lived species often watched humans with curiosity. Humans aged fast, lived briefly, and yet they planned centuries ahead. That contradiction puzzled everyone. Humans explained it simply. Short lives make time valuable. Waste is unacceptable. Preparation is love for those not yet born. That thinking shaped everything humans built. Ships designed for generations, archives meant to outlast stars, even apologies recorded for futures that might judge them. Humans didn't expect to be forgiven. They expected to be understood. That humility, rare among the stars, earned quiet admiration. Every so often, someone replayed the final moment of the Open Council, the humans standing calmly while others raged. Analysts always focused on strategy, weapons, data, leverage. Humans focused on something else, control of emotion. The human had been angry, hurt, insulted, yet he spoke clearly. That discipline mattered more than any fleet. Humans trained that skill from childhood. Feel deeply, act deliberately. The Council had lost control of itself long before treaties burned. Earth had simply waited for the moment truth would matter more than power. In distant regions, new myths formed. Some called humans the Unbroken, others called them Stormwalkers. Humans ignored the names. Labels invite misunderstanding. They preferred to be known personally, not symbolically. One ship, one crew, one deal at a time. That grounded approach kept myths from becoming fear. Humans showed up in ordinary ways. Worn ships, simple greetings, honest warnings. It was hard to hate someone who spoke plainly and left when asked. That behavior disarmed hostility better than threats ever could. Even enemies admitted something grudgingly. Humans kept their word, painfully so. If humans promised help, they delivered. If they promised consequences, those came too. No drama, no cruelty, just follow through. That reliability reshaped diplomacy. Suddenly, promises mattered again. Lies became expensive. Trust became currency. The galaxy stabilized not through force, but predictability. Humans had always valued this. On Earth, trust built cities. Broken trust destroyed nations. Scaling that lesson to the stars changed everything more than any superweapon ever could. A century later, a young diplomat asked an old human commander a simple question. If you could go back, would you change anything? The commander thought for a long time, then answered honestly, we would speak sooner. That answer surprised many. Humans didn't regret refusing the council. They regretted waiting quietly while arrogance grew. Silence, they learned, can look like consent. That lesson was written into future policy. Humans still listened, but they also spoke early, clearly, calmly. They would never again allow shame to become someone else's weapon. The galaxy became a harsher place, but a truer one. Fewer lies, fewer illusions, more preparation, more accountability. Humans fit naturally into that environment. It matched the world that shaped them. When disaster struck, humans didn't ask why, they asked how. That mindset spread slowly. Species that adopted it thrived. Those who resisted struggled. No one forced them, reality did. Humans simply navigated it better, not because they were chosen, but because they had always lived there. Old records still show the words spoken at the council. You are primitive. Humans never erased that line. They kept it, studied it, taught it, not as insult, but reminder. Underestimation kills faster than hatred. Humans embraced that truth. They allowed others to underestimate them when useful. They revealed strength only when necessary. That balance became art. The galaxy learned to stop assuming, to ask, to verify. Humanity didn't demand respect. They demonstrated consistency until respect followed naturally. New treaties were eventually written, not grand, not eternal, short, flexible, easy to exit. Humans insisted on this structure. Treaties should breathe, they said, otherwise they suffocate everyone. The galaxy resisted at first, then agreed. Those treaties lasted longer than any before, because they accepted change instead of denying it. Humans smiled quietly at that success, not because they were right, but because survival had been made a little easier for everyone. Sometimes at quiet outposts, humans looked up at the stars and wondered how close it all came to war, how one insult, one demand, one wrong word could have burned everything. That thought kept them careful, careful with power, careful with pride, careful with silence. Humans didn't believe they were special. They believed circumstances shaped them uniquely, and circumstances could change again. That awareness kept them sharp, even in peace. Alien poets struggled to describe humanity. Too many contradictions, gentle and relentless, emotional and precise, fragile and enduring. Humans accepted all of it. They were not one thing. They were many, held together by shared memory of survival. Earth's history was messy, so was the galaxy's future. Humans felt comfortable there, in the mess, in the unknown. That comfort became their quiet advantage again and again. The phrase, by dawn, all treaties were ash, became a warning saying, not about humans, about arrogance. Leaders quoted it before making bold decisions. It reminded them that systems fail suddenly, not slowly. Humans never corrected the quote, they let it stand. A simple sentence that carried weight across centuries, not as threat, as truth. Dawn always comes, and unprepared systems burn in the light. Human archives preserved one final note from the council era, a simple log entry. Shame attempt unsuccessful, nothing more. Humans loved that line. It captured everything. Shame only works on those who depend on approval. Humans depended on preparation, on adaptation, on each other. That difference had saved them and reshaped the galaxy. Without conquest, without crowns, just endurance.
As time moved on, humans became less mysterious, more familiar, but never predictable. That balance kept relationships healthy. Allies trusted humans, enemies respected them, everyone planned carefully around them. Humans considered that success, stability through caution, not fear, not worship, just understanding. Earth had finally found its place among the stars, not above, not below, exactly where it belonged.